afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I want to welcome everyone today to Evadyne with Company, Talk Worth Listening to. Today's conversation, today's talk, I hope will be as peaceful and as rewarding as these last 4 minutes or so that you may have listened to the tranquil rainforest sound bath, for which you can find on YouTube. You can find tranquil music, meditation music, 432 megahertz, sleeping music, music that soothes your soul. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but we can never have too much of a good thing. I am Evadyne, and this show here on Grown Folk Talking, Express Yourself Progressive Podcast Network is Evadyne with Company, Talk Worth Listening to. And I always hope to bring talk worth listening to. I just want to make sure you do hear me. So if someone can say yes, I appreciate that.
Yes, we can hear your beautiful voice, Evadyne.
Oh, thank you so much, Sister Isa. Thank you. Today is a continuation from yesterday. Sister Isa, she's on Sundays at 3 p.m., agreed to start a 2-part series on health and wellness and healing with home remedies, staying healthy with home remedies, and also my part is healing protocols inside and out and outside and in. So yesterday I actually covered Sister Esau's show because we're a family, and Sister Esau, did you have a chance to listen to it?
I did, and it was wonderful. And I encourage anyone who hasn't listened to it, it will be uploaded to YouTube by this afternoon, and it is wonderful. Evadyne spoke about chai tea and different natural remedies that you can use, herbs and spices, and it's just beautiful. And then her beautiful voice also is so calming. And I just invite you all to visit our YouTube page or visit us at odyssey.com at Grown Folks Talking, Express Yourself. We have a channel there, and that's where the videos will be posted. Thank you, Evadyne, for this continuation of this and taking over for me yesterday. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. You were there in spirit. I felt your guidance 100%. And we really had a good time. And so please visit the YouTube. Come back always to the Grown Folk Talking, Express Yourself Progressive. And thank you, Isa, for that. I'm sorry. Thank you, Sister Isa. The Grown Folk Talking, Express Yourself Progressive Podcast Network. We offer a variety of shows, and I always say they're not variety shows unless we have an open mic. But we are sharing so much valuable information across the board, across many spectrums, on different levels for different age groups. Just keeping in mind that if you are an adult, you are possibly influencing children. And if that is the case, know that all the information you receive can be shared with them on their level of understanding, can be shared with them if you are the one who's feeding them, literally food, who's clothing them, and who's also educating them. Our traditional institutions of education offer academics on a level that their curriculum dictates, what they have in place, what they feel we should know, but there's so much more to know. Like, did you know that you could get those beautiful sounds from bowls? Listen. Did you know? And different size bowls, different materials that the bowls are made out of. Do this as an example. You may have a glass in your home, and you may have a cup, like a teacup, in your home. Take something very light and tap each one. Literally, with the glass, you can pluck it with your fingers, and you will hear literally sound coming from it. The cup would be thicker, so you may not want to pluck it if you don't want to hurt yourself, but you may want to get something like, I'm trying to think what you might have in the house. You don't want to scratch it. Well, maybe a wooden spoon, or, dang, think of something, someone, and help me here with an idea. Because the cups are much thicker, but I know you can get sound out of them as well. So take different items in your house and tap the cup and see what sound comes from the cup. It's almost like music, like instruments, as you're listening to. So you had the rain in the background, which is its own natural, never duplicated sound. And then you have the tuning bowls that the gentleman is using a cushioned tool and tapping the bowl and then going around it. You can do that with a glass. Oh, I'm thinking about a makeup sponge that people use, something similar to that, but it won't be heavy enough. But, test it. Not on your fine crystal, unless you have really mastered the technique, but crystal gives you a sharper sound than, let's just say, a regular iced tea glass. But these are the things that are right in front of us that can bring us peace, that can bring us understanding, and that we can teach our young people. So this podcast network, we offer, again, an array of show topics for which you can call in 520-525-8633. You can call that number, listen to the show lineup. If you call in the evenings, you may be calling into a show. Just mute yourself and listen in until it's open for you to speak. Sister Isa, again, she's on Sundays, Truth and Love, at 3 p.m. My show is Mondays, 4 p.m., and it's all Eastern Standard Time. Our whole show lineup right now is Eastern Standard Time, and it's always going to be Eastern Standard Time, but wherever you are in the world, just figure out how you can get in when we're on, and you can come on live and you could share valuable information, because we do know that you do have valuable information to share. And that's what we're here for, on earth, to share what we know to learn and to grow. Because when we share and we interact, we're also receiving information. I hope that makes sense to you. So today we want to talk about healing protocols, and I say from the inside out and from the outside in, because inside first is putting your mind in the right place, placing it where it's going to be in receiving mode, placing it thinking I'm healing, thinking I'm staying healthy, thinking I'm the best that I could possibly be, but I'll take a little more. What you got for me? You know? Always open to receive information, always open to know that we are always becoming the best people we could be. And I say, perfectly who we are supposed to be. You'll have some people say nobody's perfect. Who's judging? Perfectly who you were designed to be. But we're not finished. We're not finished. We're not finished until we're finished. So every day we should be open to learn more and more and more. I am hoping to have on some professionals, not that I'm not, but some professionals that will speak about their practice of different protocols that they've used and are using to help people on their wellness track. I've learned recently about QiGong. That's QiGong, QiGong, and it is an energy. Well, let's start with the basics. We are energy. We are electrical beings. We are so very connected to everything, really, to everything. People are confused about that electrical being thing, and I give them a simple example. Here's two. You're getting dressed, and you're putting on a shirt or a sweater, and you get shocked. Well, if that clothing item is not plugged in, and I hope it's not, then that shock is that combination of electricity and energy between you and that item. And you're not plugged in. Well, you're not technically plugged in, but you are technically plugged in because we're connected. We are connected. The other example, if you have hair and you have a brush, brush your hair and then hold the brush above your head, and you will watch your hair gravitate toward the brush or the comb, because it's the electricity that's connected to probably the hair that's in the comb or brush, because it just came out of your head and you still have that energy connection. So your hair and your head is saying, hey, where you going, sister? But it's just the way you could see an example of us being energy. So we're energy. And there are healing protocols. And don't be afraid of healing. Don't be afraid of the word healing. It's not a, it is spiritual, because again, spirituality is energy, but it's not a negative energy. Good, I didn't use the word people love. It's not a negative energy. It's a positive energy. It's a positive energy. And we have people who, depending on, again, like we talked about in the other part, you have people who are from different parts of the world, because it all depends on where you live. It's what you have access to and knowledge of, and what the adults in your life are going to teach you. but there are people who are from other parts of the world and even from this part who take the opportunity to learn these protocols, these healing techniques, and to use them wherever they are. So I'm actually looking to create a network of healing practitioners. And again, don't be afraid of the word healing. We can manage you, but we want to manage you to wellness, to healthy, to being educated so that you can make those types of choices. An educated choice, a well choice, and a healthy choice. So don't be afraid of the word healing. I know you don't hear it often, but it's possible. It's possible. And I'll ask you, because I did not invite him, to take a look at Yahki Awakened. YAHKI Awakened. AWAKENED.com. That young man took it upon himself to not only become educated, but to share what he has learned on so many different biological, electrical, spiritual levels with us. And he's not the only one. Once you search him on YouTube, let's say, you'll see other associated videos, other people, powerful as we are. All right, because remember, electricity brings power. And if we're electrical beings, then we're powerful beings, right? Very good. Just a pause. Would anyone like to share their experience in receiving healing protocols from practitioners, Reiki, even if it was Tai Chi, yoga, because those things heal you when you engage in them. So if you are a practitioner and you're on, or if you've experienced the protocols yourself, if you would like to share that, I'll take a pause. And I just want to make sure you can still hear me. Okay. I can.
Hi, Evadyne. This is Isa talking again. I have experienced a lot of healing through fasting, through music, even through the clothes that I wear, because as you was saying, everything is frequency. And clothes, just like everything else, has a frequency. So I learned that when I wear certain fabrics, that it can raise my vibrational frequency. For example, I learned that wearing 100% cotton or 100% linen could raise my frequency, like with cotton 100% and with linen up to 5,000%, depending on what I'm wearing, and it helps fight off radiation. And now where we have all these frequencies coming from these cell towers, it's amazing how it doesn't matter the food that we're eating or the clothes that we're wearing, it all works together for our healing if we are empowered with the knowledge that you're sharing. So I just want to thank you again for doing this podcast.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Who knew? Who knew? I am in the process of eliminating, slowly but surely, my polyester clothing because of the formaldehyde that I've learned they've used in not just in polyester, permanent press. They use formaldehyde. That's why it's permanently pressed. Once the heat hits it. So you put your clothes in the dryer, and I haven't, well, I did. I had to iron 2 weeks ago. I had to iron 2 weeks ago for the first time in 10 years. But I don't iron, and I don't wear wrinkled clothes because I do perfect laundry. And when the clothes come out of the dryer, they come out, I hang them up. You would think I worked at a dry cleaner's. But that's what permanent press is about. And so I'm weaning myself off of that. But I love the 100% cotton, and I didn't know it protected you from radiation. And yes, there is a lot of that out here. And again, we're just here to be the healthiest people we could be, right? Thank you, Isa. Anyone else would like to mention if they've used any natural protocols for healing, for relaxation, for fine-tuning the mind and body and spirit? Okay, so I will continue. So we'll start with something that many people are more familiar with before Reiki and before QiGong, and that would be massages. You hear it all the time. You may go for them yourself. But knowing and understanding what the therapist must learn to become licensed is almost not the same amount of years as a doctor or pathologist, but they need to learn biology and anatomy in the human body because they are touching and manipulating your whole body if you're doing a full body massage, and or wherever they're touching, especially in your abdominal area, which they call your chakra. That's where most of your energy is, internal energy, not necessarily physical, but not physical. But in certain areas of your body, it affects other areas. So massage therapists, not only are they there for, I'm going to say, the pleasure of relaxation, but they also have medicinal massages. Medicinal massages where the health man here on our network has a video on the lymphatic system. And the stimulation of the lymphatic system helps to keep your immune system functioning properly, right? So when you go to the doctor, if they still touch you, they usually feel up under your neck, up under your arms. Those are your lymph nodes. They can tell whether or not they're feeling for swelling, but they're feeling to see if your lymph nodes are swollen because that would be an indicator that you might have infection in your body. Without sticking you with a hypodermic and taking your blood and waiting days to get results, there are just some outside of your body techniques that can be used to determine what's going on in your body. I don't know if any of you know Dr. Masjid Ali. I'm sure you do. I went to see him some years ago, and it was an absolute pleasure, the visit with the doctor. Why? It was the first time a doctor had touched my body, like head to literally toe, since I was probably 7, 8, or 9. He is a naturopathic practitioner. He's also a pathologist. And as a pathologist, and being a doctor, but as a pathologist, he knows exactly where every one of your organs should be, how deep in your body, what they should feel like to know the condition of your body. So his touching, and I thanked his wife who worked in his office as well, but his touching was to do his external part of identifying any disorder that may be going on in your body. I was so pleased, So with massage therapists, they know your body because that's what they have to study. Medicinal massages helps to alleviate pressures, pains, helps to stimulate function. So medicinal as in medical, helps to stimulate function of sometimes your organs that are not functioning properly. I spoke about an inversion, I believe it's called an inversion table, and that's when you strap in, you're standing up, and you strap in, and then it turns you upside down. And you're in that upside down position for a while, depending on, how long you want to do it. One of the gentlemen, this was on our show, Beat Cancer Answer with Carl, he mentioned that he has a practitioner that uses that table, and when you're upside down, they're doing massages because many of your lymph nodes, again, that control your immune system's function, are in your abdominal area. And a lot of times we're not getting to that area when we're exercising. We're not getting to that area when we're walking because we're doing all of this in an upright position. So it's mostly in a downward position, your lymph nodes, your body, your organs. And sometimes covering, if you're a lady, you might be covering those lymph nodes. So they use the inversion table, have you upside down, and they're working on your body at the same time, which when he described it, I only imagined it, and I can't wait to go for such a treatment. Our body is the most incredible machine ever created, and there's so much we need to know about it. So much we need to know about it. I invite you to research what you hear. Again, disclaimer, I am an appetizer. I have a little bit of a lot. The main course, I usually say, is on the table behind me, which is still in my head, right? But it's really in your hand. It's whatever you're watching this or listening to this on. It's right in front of you, the main course. All you have to do is request the information. And I always say, 2 or 3 places just to compare the stories, right? Your story, my story, and the truth. Just 2 or 3 places in your research. And each one is going to teach you a little more. So look into medicinal massages, medical massages. Pull up the pressure points on your body. Like you go for a pedicure and they massage your feet, but your feet, the bottom of your foot, there are pressure points to every organ in your body. Did you know? And the same in your hand. Did you know? Oh, yeah, for sure. So pull up the hand diagram on your device. And maybe I'll pull it up for those of you who cannot access it. I'm going to talk, I think. Give me 1 second. But anyone, any questions, any comments, any thoughts and ideas while I pull this up?
Hey, Evadyne, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes. Hi, Mateen.
I just want to know if you can hear me.
Yes, I can. Thank you. But wait, is this Mateen or Leon? Because y'all sound so much alike.
No, this is Mateen.
That's right. That's right. And you are low. But I thank you for being here. Tell me, Mateen, what is your experience with massages and the value of them?
Well, for one, I don't give them, but I love to receive them. Well, as you know, I started a program years ago. It's no
A little
longer
louder,
running.
please, unless it's me. I'm sorry. It might be me. Go ahead.
There's a program called Free Fulfillment. I'm not sure if you remember it. a free fulfillment massage therapy program where we offer massage to those who did long-term incarceration. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Oh, okay. And so in offering massage to long-term incarcerated people, we just have to make sure that certain eligibility clauses were followed, and these would have to be individuals who did long-term incarceration, who never, ever before in their life was able to afford what we would call a professional massage. And one of the questions that we were to answer is, did massage therapy have anything to do with recidivism? Could it avoid or could it prevent recidivism? So according to our test and what we did, how we did it turned out that only 1% of participants, and we had quite a few participants. In fact, we did so well with the first stage, the first phase of it, that they gave us a second grant to run the program again. So we did that, ran the program again, and it was very successful. And we were able to give four massages, one every 2 weeks. And these individuals, they really felt the difference. They were able to engage in massage therapy if that's what they wanted to do when they left us, because sometimes people make and they don't know what to spend it on. But one of the best things that they learn is that they spend money on themselves, they can feel better and do a great deal for their bodies. So we gave them another option on how to spend their money, and it was a great program. If I do get the opportunity again to run this program, I wouldn't mind. Everything fell right into place, and you used to see the smiles on their faces after they got they were very relieved. Whatever they was carrying as a burden, it's kind of like oozed off them. So yes, I mean, the massage therapy is very, very needed in life. Carrying all these things with us, we need to find times and ways, in order to, not only say I love you, I love myself, but to show that I love myself, do something for myself.
Thank you. And I have a question, not in terms of the recidivism, but in terms of trauma. Do you feel that massages would be good for our children, our young people?
You asking me that question?
I am, yes.
And personally, yeah, I think at a young age, especially living in America, children develop trauma at a very, very young age. I think it was you last week, or someone mentioned about slapping the baby on the butt when they're first born, and that's their first experience with trauma. I don't know about that, but I know as they're growing, they receive, they're getting seeing a lot of things that develop this trauma inside of them. And, and it could be from their parents arguing to hearing noise on the street, hearing clamor. These things just excite the body. And so for children, I would say that it's very necessary. And it doesn't have to be the way that we receive massage therapy. It could just be, taking their finger and just rubbing their their above on the side of their eye.
Oh, the temple?
Like by the temple, yes. Or just rubbing their head, just lightly rubbing their head, and showing them. I mean, things that we know we've done at a young age, we start to do. If we can remember these things, we do these things at an older age, realizing why we were doing it. And we were doing it for to feel good, feel better, to ease away some of the problems that we've been carrying with us. So, with children, if they can learn these certain techniques at a young age, I think it'll take them very long into adulthood, where they'll still be able to do these same massage and not depend on somebody to do it for them, but for them to do it for themselves.
Thank you very much. Anyone else have any comments thus far? Thank you, Mateen.
You're welcome.
Okay, so I pulled up the reflexology, and this is something that you could also do or just try to remember. Okay, so we're looking at the feet, and it's going to be, I'm going to start with the top of your toes and then under your toe, and I'll describe where I am. Because again, this is going back to your feet and your hands having pressure points that lead to organs in your body, right? And that affects other things in your body. So with the big toe, right? Now, I'm not going to tell you I know exactly what this word means. It's hypophyso. Hypophyso. If someone knows, you can tell us. Right under your toe, the big toe, so we're at the back of your foot, that point is your thyroid gland. It's your thyroid gland. The toe next to your big toe and your little toes, and all four of your toes, those are points that connect to your nose and your sinuses. Your nose and your sinuses. I'm going to call it a ring finger, but it's a toe. So what would be your ring finger on your toe? That area is connected to your ears and your eyes. So under the four toes going toward the ball of your foot, that point is connected to your lungs. To the side, the outer side of the lung area, that's connected to your shoulders. In the center, under the lung, that's connected to your solar plexus. In my head, I know what that is. Somebody could look it up, if you don't mind. We're looking up hypophyso, hypophyso. That's the back of the big toe, pressure point. And the other one is the solar plexus. Why am I thinking? I don't know why I'm thinking that's the back of your leg. But, okay, the solar plexus, that's under your lung. So your lung is right up under your four toes, that point. And you can probably open up your hand and pressure these same points, because if I'm not mistaken, it's the same as your hand. But just as a point of reference, use your hand as the diagram that I'm explaining. So right up under your four fingers, which are your four toes, right? That's your lung. To the outside is your shoulder. Small area up under the lung is the solar plexus. The inside. So under the big toe, again, under the big toe is the thyroid gland. Under the thyroid gland, that pressure point is your stomach. And did you know your stomach is the size of your fist? That's the size of your stomach. Very elastic, but in a relaxed state, it's the size of your fist. Okay, so big toe under thyroid gland. Under that is the stomach. Under that is the pancreas, and that area for the pancreas is on an angle going up toward the lung. It's on an angle. Directly in the center of your foot, I'm going to say under your arch, are your kidney pressure points. Now, this information is going to be important when you start hearing about essential oils and what they're good for, because then you might want to take those essential oils and rub them into that area. You know, I'm just saying. Okay, so the kidney is in the center. Under the kidney, there's a little tube that goes, let me see how we're going to do it. If you're looking at your thumb is your big toe, right? So between your index finger and around your thumb, around the middle, your navel is in the center, but going around, those are your intestines. Those are your intestines. The outer part, that low, is your knee. So you have your large intestine and your small intestine in that same area, between your index finger and your thumb, and then going down and around. Right? Your spleen is to the left of your kidney. So if you just go back up a little bit, all the way to the center, the outer left of your kidney is where your spleen is. And your heart is right above that. So the heart is under the lung and under the shoulder and to the outer side of your kidney. Okay? Going toward your heel on the outer side is your knee. And the center of your heel, nope. The upper part of your heel is your sex organs. Right below that are your bones. And all the way at the back of your heel is your anus and rectum. That's in the center. On the inside, under your big toe, you have your vertebrae, which is your spine, right? All the way down from the top of the toe, all the way down is your vertebrae. In the middle, you have the cervical vertebrae, the thoracic. So cervical is your neck. Your cervical spine is in the back of your head. It starts at the back of your neck. That's your cervical spine. Your thoracic vertebrae, thoracic is around your lungs, your kidneys, toward the middle section. The lumbar vertebrae is for your back. The lower back, you'll hear about the T, not the T cells. It's the T, I think, T is for both. Oh, I just realized that. Okay, so you have, when you go to see a chiropractor, they'll talk about the T and the L. So that's thoracic and lumbar, and then the sacrum is at the bottom. Your coccyx nerve, from what I'm understanding, is, I hope this has never happened to you, but what's a bone, really? Your coccyx bone is that thing that if you ever fell on your butt and you felt pain right at the bottom of your back, but the top of your buttocks, that's a coccyx bone and or coccyx nerve. Quite painful and quite important. Did that help a little bit? Okay. Your bladder is under your pinky. Again, we're talking about your toes, but under your little toe, you have the liver under the lung on the outer side, opposite the pancreas. You have your liver pressure point, and right under your liver, you have your bladder. I hope this wasn't too foreign. Did anyone have a chance to look up the solar plexus and the hypophyso? Okay, just checking. So, pull up the reflexology diagram for your feet. And it might be interactive, so you can tap on certain areas, and it may give you that information. So we're going to go with Reiki. Do we have a Reiki practitioner on the line? I'm going to ask, am I still on the line? I'm still on the line. Okay, good. Do we have a Reiki practitioner? Okay. Is anyone familiar with Reiki, ever experienced Reiki, and would like to give us their experience? Okay. So Reiki, R-E-I-K-I, it's an energy healing technique in which a Reiki master uses gentle hand movements with the intention to guide the flow of healthy energy through the client's body to reduce stress and promote healing. Energy again, right? We are electrical beings, and energy flows through our bodies. If the energy stops flowing, we may get a symptom or two. We may get a disorder. Part of that energy, speaking of the spine, the bones that you feel, they protect your nervous system. Your nerves are the communicators in your body. If your spine is misaligned from an injury, they say, according to Dr. Raymond Omid, O-M-I-D, at Garden City, he's a chiropractor, and he stated, which made a lot of sense to me, and my team just kind of mentioned it, that when we're born naturally, they take the head, turn it to pull the baby through. Not pull, but guide the baby through. I heard that it even happens in a C-section. They go in for the baby, turn, and maneuver the baby out. And Dr. Ray Omid said that is the first spinal manipulation that happens in our lives. They turn. No one ever makes sure that they turn right, that they turn better, that everything is back in place. And that's the cervical spine that they're turning, which is coming straight from the head, which is connected to the brain, right? That is the first spinal manipulation that takes place in our lives during birth. But again, no one checks to make sure things are realigned or aligned appropriately. But as we go through life, we're involved in so many different activities, from roller skating to wearing high heels to playing football. I included everybody, right? Right. We misalign ourselves. Being overweight, you misalign yourself. If you have a large stomach, or heavy breast, you're pulling forward with that weight, which is putting pressure on your spine. But again, keep in mind, your spine is protecting your communication cables, which are your nerves. Not only are those nerves communicating energy and information, but fuel for every point that those nerves are reaching. So when we're doing certain natural protocols, the practitioner should know exactly what is connected where, like the Dr. Majid Ali did with me. What is connected where, how it should feel, how you should be thinking. It is stated that When your spine is misaligned, it's pinching on the nerve. And I'm sure some of you have heard people have pinched nerves, herniated discs. Herniated discs is one of the nerves that are coming through the disc, and so now it's bulging, right? And then it's pressure because the spine is trying to be where it's supposed to be to do the things it's supposed to do, which is protecting the nerves. But now you have one sticking out. So now the spine is trying to get in place, but it can't go back in place because of the nerve. Or it could be a muscle. Somebody correct me. Is a herniated disc a nerve? Feels that way. Or is it a muscle that's coming through the spine? Okay. It is believed that when communication and energy and fuel is not flowing through that nerve that should be fueling specific areas in the body, well, what happens if we don't eat for a long period of time? Not fasting, but for a long period of time, if we do not eat, we will get a disorder, right? And if it goes on too long, it'll be a serious disorder. Well, that's what some disorders in the body come from. That if you're not feeding that part of the body, then it's like, yo, what's happening here? Did you forget about me? What am I to do? Do you want me to stop working? This is over time, not an immediate conversation. And you don't even really hear the conversation. I'm just speaking for the organ, right? I'm just speaking. I guess you knew that. I was just speaking for the part of the body that wasn't getting the proper energy anymore and just didn't know what to do. So eventually, it goes to sleep. You want me to rest? I'll rest. Therefore, you now have a symptom because that isn't working anymore in your body. And our body is the greatest machine ever created. So if that isn't working, let me see if I can give this as an example. If that part isn't working, it's not just that part that's affected because we are one great machine. Everything is totally connected. Well, if it's not working, then something else isn't going to work because everything connects to something. Everything connects to something. And we have a lot of people, many people, especially I'm finding young people under 30 who are having their gallbladders removed because they get gallstones. And so removal is an option to eliminate pain. But it may not be the only option to address the issue because your gallbladder creates your bile, B-I-L-E, that is needed to break down fat. So if you don't have fat that you may take in, like eating fat, it's used to break it down. So if you don't have a gallbladder, then when you're eating foods that are fatty, oil, your liver has to work much harder because the bile wasn't available to break it down to where it could be used and then discarded. So we're having a lot of our organs taken out, not as a quick fix, not to minimize the pain that someone is having, but we also don't know why it's happening, why the gallbladder is becoming infected or inflamed. Chinese medicine, Reiki, QiGong, massages, all of these things could help you heal and identify the issue. Any questions or comments?
I have a comment, Evadyne.
Yes.
I just wanted to mention how effective castor oil, organic castor oil, is for getting rid of growths in the body, splinters, um, stones and gravel, anything like that. Of course, I don't know if you ever heard of Barbara O'Neill, but she has some videos up on YouTube that talk about castor oil compresses, as well as onion compresses or garlic compresses, and it's very interesting how we have things sometimes in our home that we can use to treat these ailments that are extremely effective. So I just wanted to mention, because you were mentioning stones, how effective castor oil can be in eliminating the stones. And sometimes even lemon water and cranberry juice, because the lemon water breaks up the stone and the cranberry juice helps to eliminate it. So
Thank you. I appreciate that, Asa. Isa. Wow. Okay. No, really. That's you.
Isabel.
Isabel. That's right. Isa. You also had shared the other. Thank you for that. So yes, I remember. I'm going to come right back to you, Isa. Hold on. I remember learning that to break up the kidney stones, it was Epsom salt, lemon, and olive oil. This gentleman told us. Epsom salt, lemon, and olive oil. And this, I met someone who actually, thankfully I didn't have to, but I met someone who actually used that protocol, and you can research this online. And here's the key. Oh, wow, here's the key, right? Just pretend you have a stone that you don't know you have. If you find protocols that are easy to access to help rid a disorder, periodically use it. Periodically use it just in case, because we don't know always what's going to cause it. I did learn one thing that causes the stones, gallstones, and the kidney stones is bad cholesterol. And not necessarily bad cholesterol because your cholesterol level is high, but what you eat, like crock spread. Okay, hopefully they don't shut me down for that one. But no, crock spread, like if you're going to eat oil, eat as natural an oil as possible. When you start eating, well, changing your diet and eating no sugar and no this and no that, look at the ingredients and see what's replacing those things. Because I literally tested and took a teaspoon of one of those alternative oils. I took the teaspoon and I ran it under hot water with the oil on it, and it didn't want to melt. It didn't want to melt. Whereas butter would have melted a long time ago. Melted and went back down the drain. I would have been sad because I love butter, so it would have been a waste. But I tested both. And the alternative to butter, I'll say it like that, the alternative to butter, it did not want to melt. And I knew that hot water was hotter than my 98.7, 98.6 body temperature. So be mindful of what you're choosing as alternatives, and maybe it should be modification, Maybe it should be modification. Isa, you also mentioned thank you. You also mentioned the other day when we were speaking about, okay, so we're talking about healing from the inside out and different protocols. And there are people who are losing their hair. They don't know why. Again, it could be from a nerve disconnection, something in your body that's not being fed properly, right? So I recommend chiropractic care. But you have mentioned a tonic to help grow hair. Do you recall?
Well, yeah, they have several. One of them is rosemary, which actually is very easy to grow. And basically, what they did is they got rosemary and made a tea out of it, and then strained off the rosemary and put it in a spray bottle. And every night they would spray it into their hair follicles, into their hair. And that was the easiest one. But there was another one that was moringa powder, cloves, and hibiscus tea. And I have the recipe in my documents, but that's also available on YouTube. And it was amazing the way that these women's hair was growing. It was just unbelievable to me. And it was because of the high antioxidants in the cloves, in the hibiscus, and in the moringa. We know how moringa is just loaded with vitamins and nutrients, so as well as the other ones. So if you want, I can look it up as you continue to talk and give it to them before the show is over, if you would like me to do that.
That would be great. And also, as we're speaking, if you're watching this and or listening, and if you have any comments, please visit the Grown Folk Talking Express Yourself YouTube. You know you are on the right Grown Folk Talking Express Yourself because you're going to see the hot mic. You could also visit my YouTube, Evadyne Smith 3986. So when you go to YouTube, you can put in Evadyne Smith, Evadyne Smith 3986, and make your comment. Not just that, well, definitely like for both of the YouTube channels, for the record. Like, share, subscribe, and ring that darn bell. But along with that, in the comment section, if you know of any protocols, if you know of any recipes, if you can recommend a practitioner, put that in the comment, because when people go to the YouTube channels, they're watching the videos and or listening, but the comments are always very valuable as well. The comments are always valuable as well. I repeated that. I know I did. I'm not stuttering. Thank you. So, as we speak about the oils, there's a navel therapy. And so that's why I say when you get that reflexology chart and you look at that, if you're trying to address a disorder, or even if you're trying to keep your body healthy and you have those oils that are good for it, then you can rub those oils on those areas. You can rub those oils on those areas. But also there is a navel therapy. They say that you can take oils and rub them in a circular motion into your navel. Your navel is connected to 72,000 veins in your body and every one of your major organs. Your navel cord is attached to. So it's about the absorption. And as Issa mentioned, you're making the castor oil compress. I was hearing that you could actually place it, take the compress and place it on the area of concern. Now, Dr. Majid Ali said, castor oil reduces inflammation. It can also get rid of cellulite, so it can help with fat reduction and weight loss, right? And I know we used to get it as a laxative, so that means it's good for your muscles as well. But he suggested, if you wanted to get rid of some excess fat, to rub it on your body, hit somebody, and run. But the idea of that was to warm up your body, to warm it up. So you can find different ways of doing it. I think I saw someone on Facebook who was wrapping their stomachs at night with castor oil. So they would put on the castor oil and they would wrap with plastic. But I'm very funny about plastic. So suggestion is to maybe put on a cotton t-shirt and then wrap the plastic around the cotton t-shirt. But the idea is that your body's going to get hot in the plastic. The castor oil is going to be absorbed in, break out the fat, get it going, and then your body's going to release it. And of course, it's going to release it one or two ways, either through the cloth, right, or excreting it as our body excretes many other things, either by fluid or solid waste. Okay? Just want to mention a few. Now, Isa, this is your part too. You were telling me something that you were using for fevers with babies. Okay, she'll be back. Okay, so there are on the internet, of course, you know, the major go-to, there are essential oil charts. They say the king of essential oil is frankincense. Frankincense is pretty powerful. It's a very strong anti-inflammatory. If you have pain, 70% of the chance that that pain is associated with inflammation. Well, there's a 70% chance that that pain is associated with inflammation. So if you can get the inflammation down, it can help subside the pain. Then you might be able to understand what's causing it or the rest of the disorder. So again, peppermint oil. I have a friend, she sniffs the peppermint periodically throughout the day to help keep her sinuses clear, but it's also good for pileups in your sinus area. You don't always know you have them unless your voice has changed, and that's so interesting, right? Your voice can change and you think it's in your throat, but it really could be in your sinuses. Peppermint oil is good for that. Lavender is good as a relaxer. Lavender is good for, go ahead. Oh, okay. I thought someone was trying to say something. Lavender is good for, hold on a second. Let me go back to it. Okay. I'm sorry. I lost my page. Give me a second. Okay, wait. I know you didn't think I knew all this in my head. Some of it I did. Some of it I did. But not all of it. Okay, so let's go here. Let's start at the top. Tea tree. I'm sure many of you have heard of Melaleuca. Melaleuca is tea tree. It's a great antiseptic. It's extremely multi-purpose, it says. Anti-infectious, a decongestant. It's great for fighting the flu, sinusitis, bronchitis, and ear infections. It's recommended for acne, mycosis, athlete's foot, or warts. So it says drop one drop of tea tree oil on the skin. Now, it's really hot and powerful. If you ever think your oils are too strong, you could mix them with almond oil. You could mix them with castor oil, of course, because then you get two for the price of one, right? When it comes to ear infections, the other thing I heard was good was garlic. So if you take garlic and infuse it in olive oil, so meaning kind of keep it in there for a while, and then you strain it, you can put a drop of olive oil with the garlic. It's really the garlic that's doing it, because garlic is antifungal, antibacterial, and antiviral. So it's going to help with the ear infection. You could also rub the oil on the outside of your ear. You can rub it on the outside. Okay, I'm going to skip a little. So eucalyptus again, antiviral, antibacterial. It's good for, well, if you don't know eucalyptus, it's like a very strong, stronger than pepper, mentholated. It's like very mentholated, eucalyptus is. So you can breathe that in, and as we learned a couple of years ago, you can breathe things in so far that it really can go. You're not breathing in the oil, you're breathing in the steam. You're making it into like a steam cup, and you're breathing it in, but as far as you can breathe, like, again, using your mind and imagining where the steam is going to reach in your brain to help keep all of your brain cavity, your sinuses, to keep them all clear. And did you know, I'm not sure if you know, I'll share with you. Let's review. ENT is ear, nose, and throat. They're all connected with the same tubes. Ear, nose, and throat. ENT. Cloves are very powerful. So as an essential oil, it's good for dental pain, gingivitis, for abscesses, for canker sores. It's a great appetite suppressant. It kills Salmonella, E. coli. Cloves are very, very powerful. And of course, it seasons your food as well. Lavender, it says it relaxes and soothes. It can be used as a cleanser for minor scratches, but I know lavender to be good for many other things. I'm going to look at it in a minute again. Oregano, powerful, antiviral, antifungal, antiparasitic. Parasitic, that means parasites. Did you know? Yes. As humans, we could have parasites. Someone is sick, Celine Dion. She has something called, well, I don't think it's in the medical book for real, but they're calling it stiff person's disorder. Her body is stiffening up where she can't move. I'm thinking, and someone had also mentioned, that she might have a parasite. We breathe things in that are microscopic. We're drinking and eating things that are microscopic. So periodically, you do want to take something that's going to help get the, I don't know if I have it in me, out of me, right? If it's not going to hurt you, then it's good to do that just to clean your body. You shower every day, every other day. You bathe every other day, once a week. However, you're cleaning your outside body, but think about cleaning your inside body. And your brain cleanses itself when you sleep. Your brain cleanses itself when you sleep. So that's why good sleep is good for you as well. And just to mention, your skin is your largest organ. So whatever you put on your skin, as we're learning with the essential oils and the massages, whatever you put on your skin is going into your body. So you want to try to be mindful of your cosmetic choices. I have that in my book. Did you all know I have a book? Oh, yeah, I have 2 books. They're Siamese twins. You can get them on NetworkingForSuccess.info. One is titled Suicide is a Serious Killer. Let's End It Today. The other one is Mind is to Mental, as teeth are to dental, and we all have a mind. So that's the second book. I call it the potato salad that I made out of the baked potato, because the first title has the word suicide, and that's really a hot word for a lot of people. So I took the baked potato and I made potato salad, added 2,000 additional words, but it's very valuable. I take credit for writing the book, but the creator is my co-author, and there's a lot of information in there that people need. A lot of this that I've talked about is in the book today. A lot of it that I talked about on Sunday is in the book. It's about overall health and wellness. I call it Above the Chin. Traditional institutions believe that above the chin is extra, like it's not a part of our bodies, but I believe you all will agree. Now, this is one thing I know you all will agree with me, that above the chin, our head, our ears, our eyes, our teeth, our tongue, our brains, and the condition of our minds, all of that above the chin stuff is a part of our body. I think you all will agree. But in the industry, a lot of above the chin services are extra, extra, extra. Not inclusive in your complete health plan. You know, you need a special dental plan costing $150 million, you know. So there's a lot of above the chin information. There's a lot of no technical. 7 years old and above should be able to read both of these books. And again, you can get them on NetworkingForSuccess.info/promo if you want the 2 ebooks, both books for $5. You can get them. You can go there now. No, you really can now. But they're great. And they're also available in paperback. You can buy them wholesale for your book club, for your organization, for your job, for your family. Christmas is coming. The goose is getting fat. Please, no. So you could definitely purchase these books as Christmas gifts because you love a person. Definitely. Thyme, Thyme. Thyme is microbiome. Now that also helps with hair growth as well. I remember that. So this site is giving me something different. I want to kind of list, and it's open on another page, so. Okay, I'll stop here for a minute. Any questions, any comments, any thoughts? Okay, all right. I'm going to look I have another page open that gives a better detailed description of the value of the oils. You can still hear me. And I know I keep asking that. Not that I would be lonely. It's just that I had a technical issue yesterday, and I just want to make sure we're still here. You could say, aye, aye, Captain. And I know we're still here. But let me mention while I look for this that today on Grown Folk Talking, which is Monday, following my 4 o'clock show at 7 o'clock, we have slot time with Star. And that's every Monday except the last Monday of the month. The last Monday of the month at 7 p.m. following my show, we have the King's Roundtable hosted by Leon. And both those shows are great. Every morning at 7 a.m., we have the prayer line. You can come and listen. You can come and participate. You can ask for a special prayer. Yeah, you could do that. Okay, so here's frankincense oil. And again, it's 520-525-8633. You can call in or you can text call me and get a free call back if your carrier charges you when you call in. And you can also go to huddle.team. You can download the app, or you can just go to the website, huddle, HUDDLE.team, and the meeting ID is grownfolk. Okay, so frankincense. This is a little bit more descriptive. Frankincense oil is used as a meditation aid, respiratory support, to calm nightmares. It's good for skin complaints, and it boosts your immune system. Lavender, calming, stress-relieving, a sleep promoter like chamomile. It stops the itch and burns of insects. It says you can put a little bit of lavender on a bee sting or mosquito And I guess it's good to have these little bottles in your car if you're driving, or at work, or definitely if you're going out to the park. Also, if you're going out to the park or you're in your backyard and you want a fairly natural insect repellent, anything from the peppermint family repels insects. But if you're going to run to the store, you can get the original gold Listerine, even the store brand, and you can spray that around and on the grass, and it's an insect repellent, again, because of the peppermint in it. Back to lavender. It soothes burns and sunburn. It says put 2 or 3 drops of lavender on a minor burn to relieve the pain. It's good for breath health and as a flavor booster in your brownies, just in case you're making something sweet. With clove oil, again, it's good for toothaches. You can put the oil on the cotton swab and put it on the gum area. You could also rinse with it first. I suggest rinsing with it first and then letting the rinse land in the tooth that's hurting you. It's good because it kills bacteria, but because of the heat of the clove, it also stops the pain. So it can get you through the night. It's also an antifungal. And I mentioned this the other day, too, that in this part of the world, if you made ham, if you were cooking, you made ham, they would take pineapples and stick the cloves in between the pineapples. But that actually started because cloves kills, again, Salmonella, E. coli, Helicobacter pylori, because H. pylori, staph, and so they used to use it in the meat to purify the meat. That's why they used it in the meat way back in the day. So it's good for that. So you could put it on your kitchen sponge or your dishwashing liquid to reduce the bacteria also, which makes sense. And telephones and toilet seats and doorknobs and computer keyboards. Sounds good, right? Mm-hmm. Grapefruit essential oil. Now, if you're on certain medications, they will tell you not to eat grapefruits and kale, like greens, because those things are doing the same thing that those medications are doing. So then you would get an excess from a different source to do one thing, which may do too much, which can cause a symptom. So grapefruit essential oil, it says in your drinking water, you can put 2 drops of grapefruit oil to help boost your metabolism. It promotes weight loss. It adds an anti-cancer punch with its high phytochemical D-limonene, D-Limonene, anti-cancer punch. That's a hit I would love to take. Grapefruit oil is also used as a potent antibacterial, and it has a hint of vitamin C. It says it eases hangovers. Its oil has the ability to stimulate your gallbladder and liver to help detoxify after you drink alcohol. So I'm going to believe it helps to detoxify even if you didn't drink alcohol. In your vacuum cleaner, you can put a few drops of grapefruit oil on a cotton pad and then vacuum it up, and the aroma so it's for aroma purposes, clean, fresh aroma. You can get rid of anxiety. Now, anxiety is funny, and I know I'm speaking today about healing protocols, inside out, outside in. One of the causes of anxiety, along with maybe some outside issues, and then how you're handling those outside issues. One of the internal causes is iron deficiency. Iron deficiency. I had someone, she told me that her daughter had to be infused with iron in order to treat or manage her anxiety, but that her daughter's friend couldn't take it and he took his life. So breathing in the vapor of grapefruit grapefruit oil helps to ease feelings of anxiety and depression and stress. It also helps to increase your focus while studying on important projects. Now, this is important for our young people because I always say with our young people, we tell them don't do drugs, but we don't show them what the drugs look like. So many different types, I know, but we don't show them what the drugs look like. Nor do we show them exactly how those drugs will be presented to them. Like from a peer who might say, oh, take this, it's going to help you study, it's going to keep you up, right? So here we're hearing that grapefruit oil helps with your focus. That's important. That's definitely important for us to share with our young people and even for us because we're still working, we're still engaged in activities. So if it helps you to focus, helps with studying and working on projects, it's good for everybody, right? It helps to overcome sugar cravings. It says breathe in grapefruit oil from the bottle prior to eating, and it can help taper your sugar craving. Orange essential oil, cold and flu prevention. It says put 2 drops in your drinking water every day. Of course, it has the vitamin C, so it helps to boost your immune system, but it helps to increase the absorption of other vitamin C that you may be taking. I believe when you're taking calcium, you're supposed to take vitamin C because vitamin C helps the absorption of calcium. So the orange oil is pretty good for that. It helps to heal mouth sores. It's a wound disinfectant, foot callus softener, several drops of the orange oil into the affected area prior to putting on your shoes and socks. And it helps to soften and remove foot calluses. It helps with skin aging. It's an anti-aging skin oil. It promotes the production of collagen on the skin. Might want to bathe in it in that case. Collagen is good for you. It also detoxifies and increases circulation. It improves your skin tone and texture. And again, back to the skin, it moisturizes and helps with the appearance. And the D-limonene, because of that content, it helps to fight against the development of skin cancer. And then it speaks about the lemon oil. Now, I don't know if you know this, but the active ingredient in hospital disinfectant is citric oil. When I read that, that's when I started making my lemonade with the whole lemon. I put the whole lemon in the blender because the citric oil is in the peel. It's in the peel. I don't know if you've ever squeezed a lemon or an orange, which is also a citric fruit, and the grapefruit. But when you squeeze them, you end up with the oil on your hand. You got to wash them first, and everything's organic in my life now, 94% organic. But you wash them very good, and you squeeze them, but you have the oil, the citric oil. And we wash it off, but now that we know that it's good for so many things, once we wash it and it's on our hands, then we're going to rub it on our skin for better collagen, right? Look at no waste. I said I was going to open up a restaurant called No Waste because other than the bones that somebody can come and pick up and make jewelry out of, everything is going to be useful. Everything from the skin to the seeds, everything. So you have rose oil, geranium rose oil. It says it's good for premenstrual tension cramps. You rub the oil across your abdomen. It helps relieve cramps and muscle tension, which really means it can work on other muscles in your body as well. It's good for hemorrhoids. It says 1 drop of rose oil is geranium rose oil to 1 teaspoon of organic coconut oil applied to a piece of gauze. Leave it in place on your hemorrhoid, and it's going to help the blood vessels shrink. That's what a hemorrhoid is. It's an inflamed blood vessel that then comes out usually of your anus, and then you want to use these things. They sell other things on the market, but as natural as you can go, the better off you will be. Geranium rose oil, it repels ticks and dust mites. It's good for liver detoxification. It improves the flow of bile by dilating the bile ducts, thus assisting the liver detoxification process. But remember, if you don't have a gallbladder, you got an issue with the bile. So you can use, there's a supplement you can use if your body's no longer maintaining bile. I can't remember what it is right now, though. And of course, the peppermint oil is good for it's good to cool a hot flash. Nice to know. So it's good for hot flashes. As a driving aid, it kind of like peps you up, better than coffee and Mountain Dew. It's good for kids with ADHD, aching muscles and joints. It's a natural anti-inflammatory. It's good for allergy relief. As a digestive aid, it's superb for relieving indigestion and heartburn. So you can put 1 drop of peppermint oil into a glass of water and drink it for indigestion and heartburn. And last, we have oregano oil, which we mentioned a lot of it anyway. Oregano oil, antibacterial, antifungal. It's even found to be effective against the bacteria known to cause cystic fibrosis. It's good for urinary tract infections, anti-aging, antioxidant. It eases a sore throat. And during the last 2.5 years, people were actually taking the oregano oil, which is very hot, and not pepper hot, like different hot, but they were putting it up under their tongue so it can go directly into their bloodstream, right? It's good for athlete's foot and fungal infections, eliminates intestinal worms, again, parasitic issues, right? Just assume you have a parasite. People can't sit still. People are nervous. People are always touching something. That could be a parasite. And now we get to rosemary oil. Anti-cancer, anti-proliferative. It's great against cancer cells. Really is speaking about lung carcinoma, so lung cancer, liver cancer, myeloid leukemia, the 2 different breast cancer types. It was rosemary oil was reported to inhibit all 5 of them. And so just for the cancer thing, it was told to me that because our bodies, once again, are very great machines, that when you have cancer, your body creates a garbage can that collects the cancer cells. So that's the tumor growth that they find. That's the garbage can. So if you choose to have that removed, that's great. But using the anti-cancer natural agents after that would help to keep the cancer away. It will help to kill the rogue cancer cells that might have been flying around that, never went into the garbage can. Or you can start using the anti-cancer agents, natural things, before you have the tumor removed. This way, the garbage can is still there to collect the quick ones that might get away from you, but you're killing all the other ones without killing your healthy cells. So just a consideration. Rosemary, it improves brain health. It's stimulatory to the central nervous system, and it helps to promote clearer thinking. I think I'll go get some of that today. For the scalp, as Sister Isa mentioned, and beautiful hair is beneficial for scalp problems like dandruff and seborrhea because it helps to regulate the secretion of oil in the scalp. It also aids in hair growth uh, they actually compared rosemary with minoxidil, and the rosemary stimulates the hair follicles, it looks like much more, and assists in growing longer and stronger. It promotes cell division and dilates blood vessels in the scalp, which stimulates the follicles. That's cool, right? Okay, well, that's it for the essential oils. Any questions or comments? Permission to speak. Has this been helpful?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Wonderful information. I only use natural medicine anymore. I mean, if I take one of my kids to the doctor, it's for a diagnosis, if just to make sure, you know what I mean? But my kids haven't been sick. Like, they get a cold and it's gone in 3 days because of the interventions with the essential oils, especially with like cinnamon. Cinnamon is antibacterial, antiviral. I mean, I'm telling you, it's so easy to make flu balms and and use your vitamins correctly to recover quickly from colds and flus. And of course, washing your hands helps a lot. But one thing I want to ask you, Evadyne, how do you feel about all of these antibacterials? Because I know how I feel about them, but I want to hear how you feel about them.
So you mean like I'm using them constantly, but people are rubbing it on their hands and cleaning and cleaning and cleaning like that?
Yes.
We're supposed to be in contact with bacteria so our bodies can build up immunity.
Thank you.
Is that right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's like, how is your immune system going to become stronger if it's not exposed to these germs?
Right.
So a lot of people think that they need to be putting these antibacterials on their hands constantly, and that's probably a very bad idea. In fact, it is a very bad idea. Soap and water is good enough, my dear friends. So we want to strengthen our immune systems.
And what did you mention? Thank you, Issa. What did you mention that you rub on the bottom of your children's feet when they had fever? Was it?
It's when they have the fever, I don't use any kind of like no chemicals for that. I use apple cider vinegar, 1 part to 3 parts water, and I put compresses on their calves, on their forearms, and behind their neck. And sometimes I'll even give them a little bit of apple cider vinegar in water, like a tablespoon in a quarter glass of water, because it brings down the fever slowly. See, my younger son, he gets those real high fevers, and the problem with taking medications for bringing down a fever is that they can bring them down so quickly that it can cause convulsions. So I learned that early on, and it's just so easy with the apple cider vinegar and water. Now, one thing that I put on the bottom of their feet at the first sign of sniffles is the thieves oil blend that I was telling you about. And there's another name for it. I think it's called Shield. And it's like a first defense. And it's a combination of cinnamon oil, eucalyptus oil, what else? Lemon oil. They used it. The reason they call it Thieves Oil Blend, which is actually coined by Young Living Oils, is because during the plague, when they wore those masks, they would put that in the snout of the mask, and they would smell that, and they could rob the dead bodies. So the magistrates sent out and said, you got to catch these people and find out how they're robbing these dead bodies and not getting sick. And they said because it's an old family recipe, it's called Thieves Oil Blend. That's what they call it, Thieves Oil Blend, because, They gave them the recipe, and it's just amazing. I buy this oil, I mix it with a carrier oil, and I put it on the bottom of their feet, um, and it just breaks up all kinds of mucus. Cinnamon oil has so many benefits, and cloves, and I could tell you exactly. I don't have the recipe right now. It's in my notes. But you can buy it. Like I said, you can get it on Amazon. It's called Shield, and I highly recommend when you purchase an essential oil that you get organic.
Mm.
Another very good oil to use is oregano oil. Oregano oil fights off everything. I mean,
Mm.
it's amazing. So I'll have to do a show just on oregano oil sometime so that but yes, for Young Living, it's called Thieves Oil Blend, and it's called Shield. You can get it on Amazon. It's called Shield. That comes with a pack, but it's already mixed, so you can already buy it mixed.
Thank you. And I heard you mention compress. Can you just tell us what is a compress for those who don't know?
Okay, so a compress is, say, for example, I want to use castor oil to pull out like a thorn, okay? Or something that's rooted inside the hand or the foot deeply. I would take a piece of T-shirt or a gauze pad, and I would soak it in the castor oil, and I would apply it to the affected area, and then I would cover it like with a hand towel and put heat on it, and the heat will help to allow the castor oil to go deeper in, and it draws everything out. So it doesn't matter what is in there, it will draw it out. Now, if, say for example, you have a hernia and you've had it for a long period of time, the longer you've had whatever growth it is, the longer you're going to have to apply the compresses. But for things like anything that is inside your skin that needs to come out right away, that can be done pretty quickly. With castor oil, I'm never without castor oil. It has so many wonderful benefits. And in the old days, they used to make us drink it all the time, but I learned that you could just put a drop in the belly button and it will help soften the stools. It's a wonderful stool softener. And I don't know about you, but I don't like the taste of castor oil. But it is just wonderful. It's also good for removing your makeup. It's really good for your skin. Remember that your skin is your largest organ. So
Right.
treat it kindly. There's just certain oils that I just thank God for every day, like olive oil. Olive oil, coconut oil, almond oil. There's so many wonderful oils. Yeah, we'll have to do
Thank you for that.
oh, you're very welcome.
I
No,
have
you
a
said you're going to do
question.
a show. I'm
Hello.
sorry. Hi.
Hi, I'm Beverly. I have a question or a few comments. The essential oils, like when you buy the essential oils, they say for external use only. Is it okay to drink them, even if they are organic?
Well, there's certain oils that you can. You just have to remember that they're very concentrate. So say, for example, if I had kidney stones, I would use the lemon oil, but I would drink it in water. I would mix it with something else because, remember, the oils are very strong. So you want to dilute them when you use them. The only oils that are safe to use without mixing them with a carrier oil, which you could use carrier oils, like I said. You could use olive oil or almond oil or coconut oil, and you usually mix it like 1 to 3 parts as well. So if you're using, like a drop of, like lemon is a little stronger, so you put, maybe 1 drop of lemon oil or 2 drops of lemon oil and 4 or 5 drops of carrier oil. and then you would mix it in your hands. And usually you would, if you're going to put it on the feet, you will usually cross your hands so that your right hand, so that as the person is laying in front of you, you're crossing your hands because the energy travels through your body and their body. So it kind of gets them aligned, and then you, like for example, for a cold, you would anoint the bottom of the feet, and then you would anoint like the last two toes because they have to do with the sinuses. You know, and then sometimes it's good to put a towel, but the question that you asked, let's get back to the question that you asked, if you can eat them. There are certain oils that you can't eat, like I love to use the oregano oil in my salads and make my own salad dressing, or the lemon, and especially if they're organic or they're food grade. Now there are other oils that are not for consumption, and you can only use a little bit. So it depends. Also, you want to look at the contraindications because there's certain oils, like for example, if you have seizures, there's certain oils that you should not be using. If you have heart attacks, there's certain oils that you can't use. So here, let me grab a buck and give you just a couple of those. 1 second. So it's always good to look at a chart of, let's see here.
Well, she's going to look for the book. Thank you, ma'am.
So when I am from the Caribbean, I'm from Trinidad. So growing up, my grandmother and my mother, they didn't have oils, but they used basically the fruits or the leaves of the trees and the vines, and they make poultices, teas, oils,
Beverly,
and rubs.
you have another question?
Yeah. Yes. You hearing me?
Go ahead. Yes.
So I said,
are you close? Go ahead.
Here.
No, I said growing up, I am from the Caribbean, Trinidad. And growing up, my grandparents and my grandmother and my mother, they use the leaves, the seeds, the skins of most fruits, vegetables, or vines. So they didn't have oils. And I mean, I continue using them even in cooking. So we use a lot of spices in cooking, the raw spices as opposed to the oil. So coming to America, it's new to find the oils. And, you know, when I started buying them in the 80s, they said not for external use only. So that's my query. I still buy them. I don't use them. I'm never using them, you know, internally because of the fear of what maybe they add to it or they do it to it. So I just wanted to know how, you know, important it is to get, even if it's organic or not, when they say external only.
Well, if you're eating healthy foods, like for example, my family's Spanish, so we use a lot of cilantro, or which is coriander, a lot of garlic and peppers, and you know that was pretty much the base for our rice dishes or our beans or whatever. And if you're eating the healthy foods, you really don't, you know, need to use the oils as much. I really keep the oils for when there's something like a cold or a flu or something more that I need to look at. But if you're eating healthy, you're not going to get sick as much. And mostly everything you can cure with apple cider vinegar, lemon, or ginger. I mean, those are three things that every house should have, in my opinion. Also, certain salts. You don't want to be eating table salt. You want to be using Himalayan sea salt, and not. And if you can, don't get the one that's packaged in Pakistan, because they don't get that. You know, that might not be as clean as some of the other ones. But you need to read labels.
Right, I do that all the time. That is essential for me. Yeah, because even like when I was a teen, or before teenage, but I remember, you know, like this stuff when we became older teens. We had to have, which they call at the time a purge, which we call a cleanse in America. And you had to have castor oil or some Epsom salts or something to drink to clean the system before you go back out to school. You know, when we shampoo our hair, you use the rosemary oil with coconut oil. And that is also made from scratch. You know, you get the coconut and you grate the coconut and you use the water and you get the oils off it and you use the rosemary. So a lot of things, you know, essentially you basically could do it if you want to and you have the time, as opposed to buying it. So I'm new to buying it.
And that's why it's so important to teach our children how to cook, you know.
Yeah.
Instead of going out for fast food, because fast food doesn't have any nutrition.
Oh no, the fried foods and the fast, and that's the next thing. My grandmother, she used clove in everything. Clove and bay leaf was one of the things. Nutmeg when they're cooking meat, because the clove, they say, cleans the meat. You know, if it's like, especially if it's pork, they use a lot of cloves in pork, a lot of, you know, bay leaf, nutmeg. Everything had that. They even the outer part of the nutmeg, which is called maize, they use all of that. So, you know, when you cut here, at least you have to research a lot of things and try to find a source to get the clean ones.
Absolutely.
And so I'm
also
thinking, I'm sorry. I'm also thinking that if it says external use only, it could be what they're using as a carrier oil. That might make it external only. So just finding one that is ingestible, and of course sometimes they don't really know, but to be on the safe side, find one that is good for consumption. Like peroxide, they have the food grade peroxide that helps to oxygenate your body. So, and of course.
And also they have some essential oils that are perfumes. They're not the real essential oils. They use them for diffusing to just make the house smell better.
Right,
so,
yes.
So you want to be careful with that, because you don't want to be ingesting perfumes.
Someone else had a question? Thank you, Beverly.
You're welcome. I thank you for the show.
Oh, you're welcome. Anyone else have a question or comment? Would anyone like to tell us one thing that they learned today that they didn't know? Just one thing? Not a test. Well, no. Well, yeah, no. Not a test. Just one thing that you heard today that you weren't aware of, whether you received it as actual factual or just something that you've heard that you didn't know. Okay. All right. Well, again, following this show at 7 p.m., we have slot time with Star, and you are on the Grown Folk Talking Express Yourself Progressive Podcast Network, whether you're listening to it live. I thank you all for listening live and participating. But also, if you're on YouTube, okay, the Grown Folk Talking Express Yourself YouTube is the one with the hot mic. You'll know it. There's no other. And Evadyne with Company, Talk Worth Listening To. That's the name of this show, Mondays at 4 p.m. We have Sister Isa. She's on Sundays at 3 p.m. with Truth and Love. She brings the truth and she brings it with love. If you are here and you have a show and you'd like to announce your show, you may feel free to do so now. Okay. We have several shows here. Listen to the show lineup on 520-525-8633. Our podcast hosts are ranging in wonderful ages now. It's not just for the grown folks, but it's for the young grown folks. But all the information that we bring, as I mentioned before, is good for everyone. And if you all would please go to my website and purchase the ebooks. If you need the paperbacks, once again, you can get them wholesale or retail through me directly. And you can get them as holiday gifts, as birthday gifts, as back-to-school gifts, and you could make them group conversations. I wouldn't fool you at all. Again, I take credit for writing, but I do not take credit for all the information that's in there. I give that credit to my co-author, who is the creator. So I just want to give you something to listen to. These are tuning bowls and raindrops. Sometimes we just need to take 5 minutes to relax. So bear with me for 5 minutes. And thank you. Everybody good?
Yeah.
Very good. I'd like to thank you all for coming on and listening. If there are any final comments, I'll take them now.
I had a comment.
Okay, I'm ready.
Yeah, I have a comment. I got one comment.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just was trying to take myself off of mute. I was listening to that section of the show when you were talking about the essential oils. And castor oil was something that we used to drink that stuff when I was a young kid too, and no, it don't taste good. But what I didn't know that I heard on here today is that you can use it with, I guess, Issa was saying, I guess apply it to the area and then use like a hot towel or something on it to let it work inside to get whatever it is in your skin out. So that's something I didn't know before, but I'll remember that and passing that information on to others.
Thank you. Yes, a hot compress. A hot compress. The castor oil is good for so many things. Thank you, Marcus.
Oh, you remembered. Okay.
Was there anything else? I'm sorry.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? Any final comments, thoughts? Learned something new today? I appreciate everyone for their participation. Again, you can find this if you felt it was useful. Invite people to look at it on either one of those YouTubes or both of them. And if you have a show topic you feel like you want to bring, you can contact me, 347-457-2769. You can email me, teamfollowme@yahoo.com. Just a side note, advertising more than my book. I'm also a tax preparer. So if you are interested in having your taxes prepared by a registered preparer, prior to tax season, I'll offer a pre-season tax special, $75. It's flat. You pay now. We prepare later. And it saves you about 50%. And it's open to you and your family, and I am nationwide. So that's available. And I'm also a life insurance agent. So if you have use, need, or understand the power of life insurance, it's not about death. It is about building wealth. And we're not glad that people have passed, but it's about building wealth, whether it's the cash value or educating people on what to do when and if they have to cash in on it. So those are the things that I do. Again, you can reach me at 347-457-2769. I do appreciate everyone coming on, being on, and I wish you all. Is someone saying something?
God bless. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. How are you today?
I'm good, and you?
I am good. I am good. We're signing off. However, if you have a comment, you can announce your show as well. Feel free.
Well, I thank God for this show with all of that wonderful information that you always provide from part 1 and part 2. I think you're a truly amazing host, and I pray God's blessing upon you and that you continue to do what you do so well. And I just want to say Positive Impact is on Sunday, 7 p.m., where you can call in with your gospel selections and tell of his goodness. I hope you'll chime in on Sundays. I invite all to come and have a great time. We had a lot of laughs and a lot of fun on Sunday. And things are getting better and better, the technology, the music. And so I'm just looking forward to going higher. As I sign off with every Sunday, we're moving on. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And what's your name?
Deborah Fitzgerald, Positive Impact.
Thank you very much. So everyone tune in. When you listen to the show lineup, you will hear about that show and all of the other shows. I think we have 20 or 21 shows on here now. I think so. But again, if you have any suggestions for shows, let me know. And you can co-host. You can co-host. Thank you all very much. Be well, be great, and always be at peace with yourself first.